tender young maid hath been courted by many of all sorts and trades. If
This
ever was
extra
any, a
special
spruce
Halloween
haberdasher first spoke of me
spooktacular
fair,
episode
but
of
I
Ladies
would have
Unlaced,
nothing to do
sponsored
with
by
small ware.
the Gilded Lily, Victorian Treasures und Renaissance Luxuries. Why be good when you can be gilded? Now sit back, relax, and get ready for things to get spooky.
Oh, it's amazing! Hello! That was brilliant. Thank you, Elsa. That was spectacular. That was
Absolutely.
wow. I did not know that they were going to add sound effects. She didn't tell me about it.
That was great.
Yes. Well, greetings, friends. I am Lady Morgan of Spencer, and you may introduce yourselves.
Oh, I am Lady Julie d'Aubigny of France at your service, also known as La Maupin.
And I am Lady Liliana.
Yay! And together we are
Treasure!
This is why we can't sing together live, because every time we try that, it just ends up going. So, I have lit my my pumpkin candle, which is very fun. Yeah, it's
That's
sitting
so
in front of me.
cute.
I love it. I got it at Target, I think. Yeah, it's smoked cedar. There it is.
Ooh, nice.
Got the nice top, and then I'm hoping that when it all burns down, I can make it into like a little jar or something.
That's so cute.
You know,
Thank you.
the amaka thing just made me realize, I don't know why it took me so long to realize this, that we are in fact a blonde, a brunette, and a redhead.
Oh yes!
Do you like my favorite
Perfect
Halloween
trio.
movie?
Ooh.
Oh,
I wondered if we were ever going to put something like that together, and happenstance. What a wonderful thing. Good evening, Pat Brazon. I do have a vacuum cleaner nearby. I don't think I should whip it out, but I do have it sitting around.
Oh my goodness, that would be fun. Actually, what I'm coveting
Covenanting.
is, on Etsy, there are these handmade brooms, and they make to any colors and types of wood that you want. And there is a black broom that I desperately want for cleaning cobwebs out of the corners of my farmhouse, of course.
That's brilliant. Is it a black flame candle? No, it's not. Wouldn't a broom be better? Yes. Brooms are fun. I don't know
But
where I wanted to go with that. But just...
Oh, I do. At least I have a notion. I've read your mind. We love all things handmade, and we love to support all of our artisan friends.
Yes.
And one of the biggest sponsors of Chaste Treasure is, of course,
The Gilded
my mind is
Lily.
blank.
Yes.
It's like the hats and the feathers and the things and the
Yes.
pretty things.
Hang on, let me...
Gilded Lily. They make all the beautiful hats that the ladies of Chaste Treasure wear, or most of them, I should say.
Yes,
I think that
this
we
is-
might have one or two rogues.
This is one of
all
mine.
the feathers. I love it.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's gorgeous.
I
And the
love
fun
it.
thing is, if you have something specific that you want, you can ask them for specific things, and they'll help you out. For instance, Rosaline wanted a hat that was rainproof. So what they did was they made it in such a way that they had all like duck feathers. So there's feathers that naturally get wet anyway, and they were happy to decorate a whole hat with just feathers that you could get wet all the time. So it works perfectly for being in the rain. I got a custom designed giant witch's hat, which you'll see in a lot of our live episode or live things that we've been doing.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
You
so
know,
cool. I'm gonna have to order
that
that
is so
actually, because
cool.
I didn't know that was actually possible to do it with duck feathers instead. That's really
Right.
smart.
You can ask them to do practically anything, and they're very, very reasonably priced. And they'll I have where's the one? I have a hat, and I said I wanted a new hat, and they said, all right, well, what do you want it to look like? And I said I need it to be like arterial blood spray red. That's what I said. Like the brightest red that you can possibly put together. Just a very
This is the Halloween episode.
red. Yes. And they did it. They went through. They said they went through like 6 different reds before they found one that was that red and bright. Fräulein needs a chicken. Yes, you could. I'm sure you could get chicken feathers in your hat. Absolutely.
Well, it's funny you should say. Oh, wait a minute. It is Elsa saying that. Look, Elsa, I made you a chicken feather hat. I did. You just didn't want to wear it because it was too silly. I made her a black chicken feather hat with silky chicken feathers. it's not the Gilded Lily though.
Ah.
I'm not as good as they are.
Yay. Yay, thank you, Miss Ron 72. I don't even know how to pronounce that. That's great. Scary makeup. Yay! That was something that we had considered doing potentially. It wasn't a requirement. So I feel like Julie's the scariest of all because she just lures men in with her gorgeous voice and then probably murders them.
True.
Men,
Seduction of
ladies.
the voice.
See, I don't need scary makeup. Just look into my eyes. They're vacant pits. Deep into my icy cold soul.
You've got eyes that have like so much white around them. It's just like the scary, like the. Yeah, exactly. You've got the scary stare. All right, well, since it is, it's technically Devil's Night for those of you who celebrate that. That's that's one of my favorite holidays. It's the day before Hallows, and it is the setting of the crow, which is the makeup I was wearing today. But I wanted to ask both of you, what are your favorite scary movies? And I've stumped them already. You had to have known that this was going to come up.
Halloween is my favorite holiday, so it's very hard to choose horror movies. But recently, I've actually rewatched all the Aliens vs. Predators movies, and I know that there are some people wouldn't call them horror movies, but I love action movies, so I just I indulge myself in like Matrix and Die Hard, like all of those movies.
I'm the same way. I'm a sucker for an action movie. But this year particularly, I feel like if people are looking for a recommendation for a horror movie, I don't particularly like gore. So I should actually explain. I've actually seen a lot of very scary movies, not because I like them, but because once upon a time, Lady Julie was engaged. And the person she was engaged to was a Halloweenie. And I was going to get married in a black velvet wedding dress with a crimson under petticoat. Like and we were going to get married on Halloween. It was a thing. But I couldn't stand blood. He loved like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I couldn't stand it. But what I did love that he introduced me to was the original Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, yes.
There's very little gore in it, almost none. It's really, it's a zombie movie, but it's not about zombies. It's about human beings and how we treat each other. It's just like all good science fiction. It's about people. Yes. So that's my favorite horror movie.
That's very good.
I'm going to have to watch that.
What about you, Lady Liliana?
Do you have like one that you're particularly loving right now, or something that you've seen recently? Nosferatu. I have not watched the original Nosferatu. I did watch a little bit of Dr. Caligari's Cabinet, which was freaking terrifying because there's no real sound to it. It's just them kind of creepily walking around and just.
Wait, that was a movie. Wait, what is that movie about? How do you pronounce that?
What, Nosferatu?
Nosferatu?
Yes,
yeah, I don't know that movie.
Oh, so that's the like 1920s original vampire film.
Yeah.
Before Dracula and stuff.
Oh, it's so disgraceful that I don't know it since I'm wearing vampire makeup. What a disgrace. Oh.
Only
I'll have to watch that.
Yes. I've never seen that one, but I've had a hard time finding it. I don't know if it's on Netflix or anything right now. Ooh, the birds. Oh, God. That was scary. I did go on a Christmas tour. I went on a Christmas tour one time, and I think we were somewhere in Vermont, and there was nothing but just like crows everywhere, all over all the trees, all over all the ground. There was just like 300 crows all at once. And I was like, I've walked into the set of the birds. This is scary. I don't know what to think. A quiet place.
I've actually watched that on a first date. And let me tell you, you don't watch a completely silent film on a date. We literally just sat there. We were like, so, how's your family? What's your family life like? It was like the most like I didn't know what was happening in the film because I think it had just come out when the film was released, and this person had like access to the film like early on, and so he was like really eager to like show it off, and I was like, this is completely silent. Like, is there going to be any noise at any point? Nope, dead silent. I like the ASL in it.
Yes, very
It's like
clever.
not like a date setting. Just,
No, that's not like a first date movie.
No.
That's an interesting choice. All right, so I don't think I've seen the original House on Haunted Hill, but I did see the remake one, and that creeped me out for ages. I think did it have Jeffrey Rush in it? I think it did.
Oh,
was-
Ringu. Ringu is far
Ringu
more
is-
terrifying than the Ring, I think.
I-
The Ring,
I would disagree with you there, just because of the jump scares in The Ring when they redid it for the American version were so much more gory. So for me, that was like just a little extra level.
I could sleep after I watched The Ring. I could not sleep. I remember distinctly, I was in college. I took a cloth and I covered my television so that I could sleep at night for a week. And I had a Mormon roommate, and she was like, "Why is there a cover over the television?" I was like, "Oh no, and I don't want to talk about it."
I think the one that messed me up the most, I went to a Halloween party one time when I was probably late teens. So I was like 18, 19, something like that. And we went to a party, and the first movie, because they were going to do a whole bunch of Halloween movies, but the first movie they showed was Final Destination 2. And it's the one with the truck. It's a truck, and it has a whole bunch of logs on it. And then they get into a giant car accident, and then they have to avoid it, and then everything's going after them. And for the rest of the night, I couldn't watch any of the other movies without thinking that something horrific was going to happen every 20 seconds. Like, we tried to watch a vampire movie, and I was like, are they going to get hit by a truck? Like, what's happening here? Like, is someone going to jump out and electrocute them with like a dental saw? I don't know what's going on, but yeah.
Because you just left this reality and went into that one.
I driving home from that party, I was horrified I was going to find a deer at some point, which I didn't. But yeah, Get Out. Go.
I was going to say, Emily, is that a command or a movie?
It's a movie. You should see that, Julie. You would really like Get Out. Yeah. That's the it's a racially charged horror movie. It's about a man who goes to his white family's like he's dating a white girl, and he goes to their house for the first time, and they live in Connecticut, and everybody else is white, and it's really weird. But then there's an extra layer.
No, I've lived in Connecticut. It is weird.
Yeah.
That's accurate.
So, yeah, that was really, really good. Ooh, The Grudge. Sarah Michelle Gellar, one of my favorites. Thank you. Yes.
It's not a horror movie, but I can't help thinking about it because we have a Lady Liliana of the Night, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, absolutely favorite television show, and it made my entire life when I am a faithful yogi, and I studied at the same studio for several years, and the teachers rotated through. But there was one instructor who she would usually work the front desk, and she was like, "I can never remember your name when you come in. I see it. I have to pull it up, to check you in and everything. And I've had you in class before, but I can never remember your name. And every time I look at you, I just want to call you Willow." And I said, "That's fine. You can call me Willow. I'm completely all right with that."
Well, speaking of all of these scary movies, we do have a scary movie themed song, which we will enter right now. I think so. Well, it's all Halloween all day, which I'm very excited. So this is Chandler Shoppe, but we inserted our own favorite Halloween movies that we thought you might enjoy. So Chandler Shoppe, Halloween Star.
A man walked into a chandler shop, some candles for to buy. But when he looked around the shop, nobody did he spy. So he turned upon his heel, and to the door he sped, when he heard the sound of a
Jaws the Revenge.
right above his head. Yes, he heard the sound of a
Jaws the Revenge.
right above his head. Now this young man was a bold young man, so up the stairs he sped. And very surprised was he to find the chandler's wife in bed. And with her was a fine young man of very considerable size. And they were having a hocus pocus right before his eyes. Yes, and they were having a hocus pocus right before his eyes. When the fun was over and done, she lifted up her head. And very surprised was she to find a man beside her bed. That's not creepy at all.
If you would keep my secret, sir, if you would be so kind, then you may drop in for a quiet place whenever you feel inclined.
Yes, you may drop in for a
quiet place
whenever you feel inclined. Now all you married men take heed and listen to what we tell. If you don't Texas Chainsaw Massacre your wife, she'll find someone who will. So if you would be kind to her, just throw her right down on the floor and give her so much as what lies beneath. She'll come back to you for more. Yes, and give her so much as what lies beneath. She'll come back to you for more.
Amazing.
Oh, that was brilliant. Oh, that's so good.
Oh my God. Lady Elsa did a fantastic job putting that together. Because our audience probably doesn't know how the sausage gets made, but we don't necessarily know what everyone around us is going to do.
I have no idea what she was going to say or that any of them
did things and I reacted to them, and that was just because I made that face and Lady Elsa made us go together. It was wonderful.
It's so good. I had to retape at one point. I thought she was going to use that one. So I did I think I kept Jaws the Revenge, but then my husband suggested Rawhead Rex as like, if you don't Rawhead Rex your wife. And I was like, oh, I should have done that one.
Oh, good one.
Oh, so
I think
good.
that was actually my first time ever doing Chandler Shop. So it was very interesting because I know that because I mean, I've only done Montana as my show.
Right.
So it was very interesting because I was like, I really wonder what they're going to do, what their reactions are. But it ended up really cute.
That was really fun. I loved it. Yes, the lipstick smear. So through the course of that night, I redid my makeup so many times. I knew what I wanted to do, and I was like, I only get one shot at this. So I knew I wanted to do the lifted up her head thing, and we used to do something where you like smear it off and fling it. And I was like, I'm just gonna.
That was amazing.
Oh, so much fun.
Oh.
Yeah. It feels very Marilyn Manson to me to be able to like to wear makeup, but to like just mess it up and look awful at the same time.
Yes.
Love that.
Oh, speaking of messed up makeup, anyone seen the preview yet for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom?
No.
It's so good for it's Black Panther's last film, right?
Right. Yes.
But you know who I didn't recognize because she has like this incredible like suit on and this makeup that's just like all over her face is Viola Davis.
Yes.
I was watching it and I went, oh my God, that's Viola Davis. What? So
I'm looking forward to some of the Oscar movies that are starting to come out just now. Like, I just got my Entertainment Weekly, which lists like all the different people that are supposed to be up for Oscars. Also, by the way, as far as I'm aware, they're only doing a Best Actor race this year, and it's like 10 people nominated for Best Actor. They've eliminated Actress because there are so many people who are of non-gender or non-gender binary. They said, you know what? Everyone should be on the same playing field. We should treat them all equally. Let's just do a best. It's basically best performer. So I mean, think that's really exciting.
While I love the concept and I think it's important to hear trans voices and non-gender conforming voices, I'm a little worried about the idea of instead of creating a new category, which is what I think should be done, lumping everything together because it was done in Philadelphia previously and all white men won all the awards.
Oh, yay. I mean, I just knew that Sir Anthony Hawkins might also be nominated, so it's hard to beat. Yeah. Interesting. Yay.
Also,
what are the
when I get nominated, I don't want to be going up against Anthony Hopkins. I mean, that's
right,
just not fair.
right.
You know, he doesn't have a chance.
I love Anthony Hopkins. Cleopatra brought up the Buffy songs from that one episode where everything's musical.
Everything
and let me
was a
tell you,
musical?
I
Yes.
know Spike's song to the T. Everything that came out of that man's mouth, everything he
Rest
was,
in peace.
is-
Yes.
Oh. So were you Angel or Spike then.
Oh, Spike, 100%. I love James
Angel.
Marsters.
I love Spike.
Really?
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he deserved his own television show, but I've always been that girl.
I love
Oh.
David Boreanaz as an actor. I think he's fascinating. I thought that Angel was a stupid character because he's
Oh, I
just
agree.
like upset with it. It's so funny because he's Irish that he's like his own Irish tragedy, just walking around all the time, being like, everything's awful and I'm so sad and the words have
Accurate.
upset me. I'm like, just shut up or write a bunch of songs about it. It'd be better.
No, I think Spike is a
oh.
more interesting character, but if you're asking me who my favorite is, I love Angel.
All right. So, question from Michael Hamilton: what is the best treat or trick to give out or to receive? Interesting.
Oh, John Davis!
Oh, you know people.
My boys.
I think. All right. So, I never got a chance to participate in this, but I did know a couple of people who did. We knew that there was somebody in our neighborhood who wasn't giving out candy, and I found out later some people who were on the school bus with me had done this. They forked someone's yard, so they basically took a whole bunch of different plastic forks and they just stuck them all in the yard so that they couldn't mow anything. So there were like thousands of forks all over this person's yard in like one day. So it was like, I don't know how they did this without someone figuring it out. But they just stuck forks everywhere, and that was it. There was a time in my life where everyone would either fork a yard or flamingo a yard, which was much more expensive, but still quite as funny. Where you just get a bunch of plastic flamingos and stick them everywhere.
Oh, see, I just thought that was called Florida.
That's a better euphemism for it. Oh, I'm going to Florida, your yard.
There we are.
Does anyone have any favorite tricks or treats?
Well, I mean, I feel like I could give trite answers, but I think that it's really interesting to note that the customs for Halloween and Christmas have swapped. So, yes, so begging door to door, that was a Christmas tradition.
Right.
Here we come, a wassailing among the leaves so green.
That
It's
was
all
basically you were
about it.
asking for people to give you drinks, not necessarily cake or things.
They would, though. There was cakes that were given out, punch. You would be invited inside. And my friends and I used to do that at Christmas time. The other thing that is a Halloween tradition now that was a Christmas tradition, and you can see this very obviously, is the telling of ghost stories.
Yeah.
That's why A Christmas Carol is a ghost story, because it was traditional on Christmas to tell ghost stories.
That brings up another fun question. Although we do have to get to Liliana. Do you have a favorite trick or treat that you would like to throw out there?
I actually really like pretending to give like fake bugs to people as like little snacks and scaring people that way. I really enjoy that. I actually saw this really cute. I don't know what it was called or what the actual food item was, but it was like a little teddy bear, and it was like, I think it was an omelet, but he put it over with the spatula, like a little blanket on the teddy bear. And I love stuff like that. I love like illusioned food. I love that.
So I see
That's
things
what
like
I would
that.
do.
I can't eat them. If it looks too much like something that I should cuddle, then I can't eat. I can
If
eat
you're
like
sadistic
goldfish
that
crackers
way.
all day long, but like if it looks like I should be picking it up and holding it, then I can't eat this teddy bear. You made it too cute. I can't.
I don't know. Maybe that's my sadistic trait then.
That you eat food that you're like, oh great, this is gonna be fun. I'm going to murder this bear. Yay. Stab,
Yep.
stab. Wait, all right. So this was the thing. Oh, Halloween costumes. No, there was something that we were just talking about that was supposed to segue into something else. Fluffy steam blanket.
Tricks and treats.
Tricks and treats. And then Rosaline, help me out. I know you're watching in the background.
So favorite treat. Not that this has ever happened to me, but I propose that we have adult Halloween. It used to be that they would give you alcohol when you went begging door to door. I think we can reinstate the policy, but I think that into my goodie bag, you should just drop alcohol, like nips of alcohol.
Yep.
We should have like an adult trick-or-treating night. Everybody gives out nips. Next day, everybody gets drunk. It'll be fun.
So that's what it was. So you were talking about Christmas time and the scary ghost stories. And that's what I wanted to know was what was your favorite scary story? Like not necessarily something in a movie, but like, so I was just thinking the other day when I was very little, I remember going to library. We had a library class, and we would go to the library, and the librarian would read us a story. And it was Taily Poe. You ever read that story, Taily Poe? Scary as hell. And it's about this guy in the woods, and he's hunting, and he can't seem to find anything. He finds this strange creature, and he cuts off its tail. And then all throughout the night, it's like scratching at the door, and he sends his hounds after it, and they disappear. And then it's just this, give me back my Taily Poe. And it was the scariest thing. I must have been like 6 or 7 years old. And that and watching Jaws, like sort of started me on the pathway of scary, scary things. So do you have like a scary, like something from like the Tales to Tell in the Dark or Tales to Tell at Sleepovers? Yeah, Monkey's Paw, very good story, terrifying. But do you have a favorite scary story? I'm gonna go do something else.
If we're talking from the book of scary stories, I'd say The Thing scared me the most because I'm a very big person on. I loved in Scary Stories, the illustrations of all of those stories were beautiful. And I've heard recently they've actually removed some of them that were too graphic for children. And now they had somebody else do similar art, but now is in the book instead. Not all of the art was removed, but it was mostly all the ones that were a little too graphic. But The Thing really, really got me on that ghost story of the boys, and there was a ghost constantly following them, and then one of the boys eventually gets sick, and then the next day,
it looks like him. God, that was a mess. Yes. Yeah. Now I remember what you're talking about. Yellow Wallpaper. I got to do that as a single production once. That was fun.
I've been in a staged adaptation of The Monkey's Paw, so that was really exciting. I was the mother. I had a grey wig and glasses, and yes, it was one of my favorite characters. My favorite of the scary stories to tell in the dark was actually The Green Ribbon.
Is that the one around the neck thing, and then
with the couple falls in love, and she never seems to age, and finally he's old, and she says, "Take the ribbon off of my neck so we can die together." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And he takes the ribbon off, and her head falls off.
Ooh.
That was mine.
Signal Man. I've read that one.
Oh, I have a question for you guys.
Yes.
So we talked
then we might get
about
to something else.
Scary stories, but like movie wise, or like anything of like that you've ever seen in TVs or movies, what character scared you as a child? Like, is still like in the back of your mind that like scared the bejeebies out of you?
Yes. John Carpenter's The Thing. Which is one of my favorite movies and has some of the best practical effects I've ever seen. But the fact that it's a creature that turns into you, or as close to approximation as you as it can get, and sometimes it's like halfway into the transformation, that really stuck with me for a long time. Also, a weird movie called Cameron's Closet and Poltergeist. Those also stuck with me for a long time. Yeah. Do you have like a favorite monster or scary guy that Liliana, you posed the question. Do you have a favorite?
Honestly, it's actually Gollum. To this day, when I watched Lord of the Rings as like a 7-8-year-old, it wasn't even in order. Like the very first one I saw had Gollum in it, and I'm still terrified to this day. I have dreams about him sometimes. I'm like, how'd you get that? It's I think the idea of
those are basically at their root the same story, right? Because Gollum is like a twisted version. I mean, Tolkien describes him as having once been a hobbit-like creature, and the hobbits are our heroes. The men really aren't our heroes in those books. It's the hobbits. And Gollum is what the hobbits become if they're kept from sunlight and everything that's good, and shoved away in a dark corner in the earth and live too long. And so like it's still sort of that self becoming something twisted and unrecognizable. So I think that's terrifying. I mean, that's what's terrifying to me about zombies, because it's the person that you love, except that it's not the person you love. It's everything that makes up the person that you love. But so the animus is gone. The vital part of them is gone. Sorry, my Latin is showing.
The bent neck lady. Sorry, I'm just seeing that.
Oh,
I don't know. Oscar the
Grouch, really? So for me, it wasn't a character. For me, it was a book. So when I was a child, Does anyone remember the infomercials on television? It was like, send away for your first book free, and then you'll get the whole rest of the series for only $19.95.
I mean, I remember that for CDs and stuff, for sure.
So they had this for the Time Life series of books.
All right, yes.
And my parents ordered, and I was very, very little. They ordered mystical places. Mystic places. That's what it was called. Mystic places. And I remember, the pyramid on the back of the dollar bill that has the eye in it?
Yes, yeah.
That was what was on the cover.
Oh.
That book, when you opened it, it had realistic looking pictures of aliens and like every sort of cryptozoological creature in the world. I was terrified of the book itself. I really thought that book was going to come like get me in my sleep, and I would scream every time I saw it. And it wasn't until I was a teenager and the book was like in the garage and had survived 2 divorces that I was like, I'm going to conquer my fear of this stupid book. It's just a book. It's just a book. And it can't hurt me. So I had to go out to the garage and like I was trembling as I took it down. It's like, nothing bad is going to happen. Nothing bad is going to happen. And nothing bad happened. But I was scared of that book for a solid decade.
And books are very powerful. I mean, I don't know why Babadook doesn't come up as everybody's favorite scary movies anymore, because that was a really good scary movie.
I think, personally, I just understand it so well. Like, grief is such a strong emotion that I feel like anybody just relates to. It's like, if you see the Babadook, you're like, yes, yeah, I see it. I see me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It makes it not so scary when you see yourself in it, I think.
This is an interesting question. All right. So does everyone have a favorite Halloween drink? All right. So I don't have a favorite Halloween drink, but I do remember, this is going to be Lady Morgan real talk time. There was occasions, probably mid 2000s, where I used to go to Burning Man a lot. That was before I did a lot of festivals, because festivals happen on weekends, but Burning Man happened in the middle of end of August, over a weekend. Very fun. And they had a vampire camp, and they would hang blood bags with red wine in them from the ceiling, and you could order a blood bag for yourself if you like traded something in for them. And they had like the best dancers and the best music, and it was just like so much fun to go to that camp and to just drink red wine, cheap red wine from a blood bag. I just thought that was the best thing in the world. So there, blood bag. There you go.
Love it. What about you, Lady Liliana?
I don't have a specific Halloween drink, but I am a sucker for mimosas. I love mimosas.
Right. So
they're just sweet. I love sweet drinks.
No, good, yes.
Well, then you will like the Halloween drink that I and my roommate created about 2 weeks ago. Ooh. So I went to an orchard and I got a half gallon of fresh pressed cider.
Nice.
And I brought it home. And we mixed it with spiced rum and amaretto and made caramel apples.
Oh, like you're bobbing for apples kind of thing. Oh, that's good.
It was magnificent.
Speaking of all of these drinks, would you like to attempt the We Like Our Men song?
Let's do it. Let's try it.
Do you want to do it with the drinks that we just suggested, or would you like to try to suggest a different one?
Oh, I don't mind that. I would love to do mimosas.
Well, no, you'd have to trade it down. So she would be doing, you'd have a caramel apple, and then I would have mimosa, and then you would have a blood bag of wine. Yes.
Blood bag of wine.
All right.
Love that.
We'll give this a shot. Yeah. If we miss anything, this is live. Yay! It'll be fun and exciting. All right. So I'll do the whole first bit. We like our men like we like our drinks, only when we want it, only when we want it. We like our men like we like our drinks, and they like us as well. I like my men like I like mimosas, only when I want it, only when I want it. I like my men like I like mimosas. In the morning, nice and bubbly, and good to start your day. Yeah. And they like us as well. Go ahead, Julie.
We like our men like we like our drinks, only when we want it, only when we want it. We like our men like we like our drinks, and they like us as well. I rather like my men like I like my wine. Only when I want it, only when I want it. I like my men like I like my red wine. Dark, a little bit fruity, preferably French. And they like us as well.
We like our men like we like our drinks. Only when we want it, only when we want it. I like my men like I like my drinks. And they like us as well. I like my blood bag of wine.
That was me.
I think
You got caramel
yours is,
apples.
Oh,
caramel
wait, am I doing the cider?
Yeah.
Oh, I like my men like I like my cider. Refreshing, sweet, and a little bit gay.
I can tell you from the West Coast. That works perfectly. All right, I can take it from there. And they like us as well. We like our men like we like our drinks. Only when we want it, only when we want it. We like our men like we like our drinks. And they like us as well. We like our men like we like to drink. Only when we want it, only when we want it. We like our men like we like to drink. Only when consent is expressed and freely given. That's important. I can give consent a lot, but it's still important to ask. And they like us as well. I like oranges.
And they like us as well. Je m'appelle.
And they like us as well. We're going to hell.
Yay! And they like us as well. Live music!
Sorry, let me back up.
That worked out quite well.
I can't do the applause thing. The frame is too narrow.
I know. I'm like, wave my hands, wave my hands, wave my hands. That is one thing I wish.
This, or is it like
it's supposed to be? I think it's waving hands. Like
oh, this. Oh, yes.
This means something completely different. This is probably spiders or something. I don't know. Love it. I feel like I don't know. Rosline, let me know backstage. But I feel like after that lovely song, we could probably do a song that actually accomplished things a lot better than that.
We had to give it a try.
I like doing things live. It's just this format doesn't allow for people to sing simultaneously. That's just all it is. And I wish we could, but sorry. Right. So the next song I think will be relative to this candle. It's actually kind of fun. So I didn't expect that to happen for the two of you, but I'm really excited that I saw some people with candles, so this will be fun. So this is a song called Long Time Traveler, and it is a very, very pretty song, but it is also about kind of death and moving on. So I thought in honor of those who have left, or in those who have moved on from this plane of existence, we should light candles. So that's what I did in my piece, and we'll see how everybody else goes. So Long Time Traveler, may the light stay on for you.
Ye fleeting chimes of earth, farewell, your springs of joy are dry. My soul now seeks another home, a brighter world on high. I'm a long time traveling here below. I'm a long time traveling away from home. I'm a long time traveling here below to lay this body down. Farewell, kind friends, whose tender care has long engaged my love. Your fond embrace
price I now exchange for better friends above. I'm a long time traveling here below. I'm a long time traveling away from home. I'm a long time traveling here below to lay this body down. To lay this body down.
Oh, that was so pretty. I mean, it's intentionally pretty, but wow, that was, for not having seen the footage in advance, that was glorious. Well done.
Yeah, but not actually like rehearsing together and like trying to figure out like dynamics of the song, like is actually pretty good actually.
Yes, very good. That was nice. Yeah, yes, submitted for approval. Chase Treasure Society. I loved that show. That was one of my favorite shows when Snick first came out and they did Are You Afraid of the Dark? That was one of my favorite things. I loved that show. And I used to, this goes back to Morgan free time. When I was in like middle school, I used to write scary stories for all of my friends. So I wrote when they were always like the main person in the story. I remember my friend Angie was being attacked by a werewolf. I definitely remember my friend Sarah was attacked by a vampire. Like they were always like kind of a takeoff on some of the scary stories for sleepovers or scary stories to tell in the dark, but I wrote them myself. And I remember, I don't know why I did that, but in like 6th or 7th grade, I do that for everybody.
You should
Yes.
write ones for us.
I should. You let me know what your theme is, and I will. Oh my God, Roundhouse.
I give you free reign.
Yes. By the way, for those of you looking right now, so Chase Treasure is available online, and we're about to have our second CD coming up. They've alerted us that it will be released very shortly. It took a lot of doing to get everything together. So I'm very excited to have this second album coming out very shortly. And as soon as that one pops up, then hopefully within November, December, we'll have our final album out. And then from then on, it'll just be, hopefully in the next year or two, we'll be able to record a next album.
If we're talking about our albums, I think it's important to say, because this is the time of year when people start to think about gifts for their loved ones at the holidays, that Chase Treasure does have a holiday album.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Look at that.
Ho, 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 Reverend Revelry. And you can purchase that on our website, I believe, yes?
You could also you could contact us via Facebook, and we will happily send you a hard copy. Or again, as soon as this next one comes out, hopefully November, December, before the end of the year, certainly, we will put that other Christmas album up online. And it's not just Christmas either. We do have we have a Jewish song that's called the Dildo Song, which
we got in trouble for singing at a restaurant once.
Yes. That was
marvelous.
That was a fun time. But yes, we do have we cross boundaries and borders. Speaking of, blessed Samhain to those of you who celebrate.
Thank you.
Yeah. I kind of do. I need to be a better witch than what I am right now. But I did.
There's no such thing, darling.
I did light all of my candles and did some oils and cleaned my house the other day, so that felt pretty good.
All right, getting ready for the new year. I mean, that's why you need the broom too, right? You got to sweep out all the old dust.
Yes,
like it's a ritual.
Yes,
but my friends and roommates are like, "What should we do for spooky Halloween?" And they don't want to deal with trick or treaters because COVID, and I don't want to deal with trick or treaters either because COVID. But I was thinking, I should probably go out and look at the blue moon, the full moon, the second full moon this month. So I plan to be a wolf and go outside and stare at the moon.
Oh, lovely.
And that's going to be my witchy solo practice thing.
Yes, I highly anticipate that it won't be dark yet, but the fun thing for this season at the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair, for those of you who can attend, please feel free to do so. It's actually been very good with, they've been really good at enforcing mask policies and social distancing, and we go out, we do our show, we stay backstage. But one of the things that they invited us to do was go onto the dais for the final joust, because they just needed to have extra bodies up there. And it has been such a joy to be able to see these performances. I have had a blast. I give mad props to Noble Cause Productions for putting everything together. It's completely different every day. I have been screaming. I'm surprised that the Queen's microphone doesn't pick me up, because sometimes what was it? There was a guy in the joust last week who was like, I'm not going to follow a weak and feeble woman. And then there was a girl who's supposed to favor him. And I'm like, oh, girl, you don't have to give him nothing. You get away from him. I was just screaming this at the top of my lungs, being like, don't you dare favor that boy. He doesn't deserve it. Like, I don't know where this weird Southern girl came out of, but through the entire joust. And then inevitably, it's a great final joust. And they get like, they stab each other and things get really crazy and there's blood packs everywhere and someone gets stabbed in the neck. Last week, someone got stabbed in the eye. Like, the guy grabs this knife and he's like trying to drive it into the dude's face and he's trying to stop. And then you just see the one like wind up and slam his hand on the other guy. And there's this blood everywhere. I'm screaming, he stabbed him in the eye! Oh my God, it's this! And I'm just screaming this at the top of my lungs. Everybody, no, I'm in the back. Everybody in front of me trying to keep a straight face while I'm just like losing my mind. It was so much fun. I have had the best time being on the dais for the first time in 10 years. Thank you so much, PRF and Noble Cause, for doing this. I've had the best time. So thank you all for doing that. And if you get a chance, at the very least, watch some of the videos that a lot of people have recorded. It's definitely worth your time to check it out. So that's been fun.
So to completely bring things down for a moment, we were just singing Longtime Traveler, and this is actually, you were talking about the joust. So many moons ago, Lady Julie was the assistant music director and then the music director at the Connecticut Renaissance Fair. And we also did a nighttime joust, and it was amazing. But my dear friend and roommate at the time, actually, there was an article in the newspaper about this. He actually had a heart attack on our way from, he and I were supposed to walk together. And he decided to go ahead of me because he was hosting the joust. And I said, all right, I'll see you over there. And I was about 10 steps behind him and he dropped dead of a heart attack.
Oh,
so I would like to dedicate our longtime traveler to you, CJ. The best drag queen I ever knew. He was an amazing human being, and I miss him every day.
A good memory, indeed. I remember hearing about that. I think that was
it made some news. I was like 2 steps away, and my friend who is an EMT, but was also on cast, was the person trying to resuscitate him. So that was a bit much.
Ooh,
but everyone who lived in that house with me actually has passed now, except for me. So I'm next, I guess.
Knock on wood. Yes. I mean, next eventually in quite a long time. Yes.
Hopefully.
Unless there's someone at your door.
Oh no, that's just the dog. The dog has a tail, and it sounds like someone knocking on the door in the middle.
I have to tell you a story. All right. So, much like we're doing right now, I was doing a Zoom session, and I was online. And my husband and I, over the last couple of years, have bought several props that we just sort of leave out around the house. So one of the things that we have is a scary telephone. It's a telephone. It's one of those old rotary phones, and it just says creepy things. Like if you pick up the receiver, it'll be like, the call's coming from inside the house kind of thing. We also have...
Or it'll laugh at you in Vincent Price's voice. And
yes, it does. It laughs.
You, which is what happened to me.
Or it'll say, like, the number you've dialed is completely out of service. And just creepy things. So I'm in the middle of a Zoom session, and we have a kitten. We have a lovely, fluffy little black kitten. She's adorable. Her name is Lilith. I love her to death. She started to explore the house a lot more. So at one point, I'm in the middle of this Zoom session, and all I hear is, I knew it happened later, but it took me a minute to correlate what was going on. I hear this, I know where you are, and then ka-thud, ka-thud, ka-thud. And what had happened was the kitten had knocked the receiver off of the phone and then freaked out when it talked to her and started running down the hallway. So, but what I hear is, I know where you are. It's the things rapidly coming my direction. And I screamed in the middle of this Zoom session. and like had to mute myself real quick. And my partner's like, "Are you all right? What happened?" And I explained to her what had happened, and everything was fine. And it was just like, but that was scariest moment that's happened this Halloween was that. So yeah, that's a thing. I had to tell that story. That was worth it.
You do have the cutest kitten in the world. I can verify this. And there's a video that I wish I could show to our adoring fans of her peeking her head out from a curtain in a closet, just going, "Is it safe?
Yeah.
No one can see me. I'm a black cat." And the dog's going, "Can we play?" And she goes, "I hate you. Go away." It's so sad. The dog loves her so much, and she's like, "No."
It changes every once in a while though, because now that she's gotten more bold, she'll attack him when he's like laying on the bed, and then he's gotten back at her sometimes too. So they go back and forth every once in a while. Today,
happy.
She's getting him back. Oh no, don't worry. She likes to hide under the couch, and then he'll sit next to the couch while I pet him, and then she'll like attack his feet. So you'll just see this like little hand kind of like sneak out from underneath the couch and go, bah, 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 and then just leave. He looks like shadows are attacking him. It's brilliant, and I love it.
That's amazing. Poor Ozzy, but
favorite. All right. Adorable. Favorite Halloween costumes is the question from some of the ladies. So, do you have a favorite Halloween costume? I mean, mine legitimately my go-to for the longest time has been the crow because I have the curly hair and I like the makeup and it's really fun. One of my favorite Halloween costumes that I did when I was much younger. I went to a big house party and I was a Victoria's Secret supermodel. So I had just become single. I wore legitimately just a bra and underwear and a trench coat. And then when I got there, I just had the trench coat kind of open and I would just like pose on stairways and stuff. And that was fun. That was a very sassy costume. But Julie, do you have a favorite costume that you've ever thrown together?
By favorite, we don't mean worn most often, right? Because between the ages of like 3 and 10, I was a fairy princess about 20 times.
Oh
no, every year, I'm a fairy princess. No, my favorite costume actually was, and I was just reminiscing about this with a friend of mine. 6 years ago, I went to a Halloween party, and it was billed to me as. All my friends are nerds, so, dress nerdy, they'll get it. So I found a yellow gold scarf and my black corset and my black boots, and I put my hair up in a 1940s pinup curl, and I went as Silk Spectre from Watchmen. It's the original Silk Spectre,
version.
Not the pleather and the leotard, but the other one.
Got it. All right.
No one got it. They were like, "What's a Silk Spectre?" I was like, "I thought you were nerds. You've all lost your nerd card." Done.
Disappointed.
Because I came up with it in like 5 minutes. Because he was like, "Want to go to a Halloween party tonight?" And I was like, "Yes, I like you, so the answer is yes."
That's very clever. All right, Liliana, do you have a favorite costume or a costume that you like to have thrown together at some point?
I really enjoyed my costume. Oh god, no, I can't even remember the character's name. So in Jurassic World, do you know the guy that has like the lineup of dinosaurs on his desk and wears like the original Jurassic Park shirt? He was a very minimal character in the movie.
Oh, in Jurassic World. I don't know.
In Jurassic World. Yes. He was just like a side character, but he was the one that just made like sassy little side comments, had like a lineup of dinosaurs on his desk, and had a nice old dad mustache.
Oh, now I remember you talking about, yes.
Yes. That was my favorite costume because I literally brought like a makeshift cardboard like outfit, and I just had like a lineup of dinosaurs on this like little cardboard, and I had this giant tad mustache, and everyone's like wearing these like really cute Halloween costumes, and they're like, "Taylor, of all the things you could have dressed up as, like, do you want to be cute at all?" And I was like, "This is cute. It's a dad outfit, and I'm completely content with it." But that was, I think, I don't know. I think because I went through a phase where I just wanted everything to do with dinosaurs. I wanted everything to do with Jurassic World, Jurassic Park. I was like, why isn't that real? Why can't it be a real
Do
thing?
you really want it to be real? Because that's
No.
actually terrifying.
No, not actually. Do I want to see what it actually? Because I mean, we see Jurassic Park, right? And we have this illustration of like what dinosaurs would be, but when we see the actual bones of these dinosaurs, they're so opposite of what they would actually be. So I'm just very curious, like if we ever could see in another movie of what these creatures could actually look like,
And what they
instead
actually
of the
with
movie
feathers
version
and
of it.
everything.
it would probably be boring as hell. Like, I'm just going to say that out loud.
The raptors as like little chickens,
Little
as
tiny
they're-
raptors, because they're not that big. They're like actual, like original velociraptors. I can't get my hands in the frame. They're only like 13 inches tall or something. No, that's what I think they're trying to put together as a Utah raptor or something. Some of them are bigger depending on the time.
There's also a very interesting paleontologist who claims that there are not nearly as many species as we think, that they're just the juveniles. Because if you look at the progression of modern animals and how much certain animals transition between the infant stage, the juvenile stage, and the adult stage, like how their bones actually change. There's supposedly like all these species of triceratops and these species of raptors, and he's like, no. There's babies, and he's like, oh, it's a different species, but we seem to have no adult versus juvenile specimens. No, the juveniles are the other species is just the juvenile. They just like grow up like every other animal on Earth. But he's like, he's a rogue. Nobody wants to listen to him. They're like, oh, that's ridiculous. I want to name a dinosaur after me, so this is a new species.
Right? Yeah. Interesting. I'm curious. I'm curious to see really what it would be like. But yeah, I think the only thing that they could actually put together that would be like, oh, it's an ancient creature, it would be like plants. Like we're gonna end up with like a bunch of scary plants, and that's about it. It'll be a bunch of corpse flowers, and then like
so little Shoppe.
Yeah. All right. Carl's our friend from the Pittsburgh Renaissance Fair. 2 years ago, I managed to mock up a rough semblance of a predator mask, found a gavel-like hammer, and wore a black robe to represent the recently installed Supreme Court Justice. Wow!
Smart.
Ooh, I love clever costuming.
So our friend Davis wants to know what our favorite candies are.
All right, we can do that, and then we should probably actually do the Halloween medley, which I'm very excited about. Favorite candy? Julie will know this because she's been over at my house recently. I really love the I love the Reese's peanut butter cups that are supposed to look like a pumpkin, but just kind of look like someone slapped peanut butter on a flat film and then just covered it in chocolate. And they're like, look, it's a pumpkin. It doesn't look like a pumpkin at all, but it's still good, and I don't care. But yeah, Reese's were the best to get whenever you were trick or treating because not everybody had them, and I really like them.
True.
All right.
So I like anything that's made of dark chocolate or marzipan. Bonus points if it's both. But when it's like a mainstream candy, and this is going to be a very unpopular answer, I like candy corn. I really like if you put a bowl of candy corn in front of me, I will not be able to keep myself from eating the entire thing.
Wow.
Why do you like candy corn? I must ask this.
I think it's delicious, but I like things that taste like paper. I like things that taste like
The French are really
communion wafers are the bomb.com. I love the taste of communion wafers and water crackers and anything that's sort of a strangely weird, bland knockoff.
If anybody wants to get Julie a present, you can feel free to get her rice cakes because apparently she just likes things that don't taste like anything. Great.
That's right.
Candy corn equals paper. Got it.
Right.
Tastes
Liliana, what do you have as a favorite candy?
I'm on the same page with you. I because I'm a celiac, I can't have Kit Kats anymore, which is heartbreaking. But no, Reese's has my heart. I actually, every time I get a bag of Reese's, because you can't just have like, the 2 pieces. No, it's not how it works. I get a whole bag, and I put it in the freezer, and I wait until it just like, it's just a little hard, and then it just, chef kiss.
Yes. All right. Well, while we're talking of all the tricks and treats and all kinds of things, this is For those of you who haven't gotten a chance to see it in person at Parf, this is a brand new Halloween medley that we got to put together. I spent a lot of time doing this, so I hope it works out really well. I heard the rough cut of the vocal track, and it sounded amazing. So I hope that you enjoy our spooktacular Halloween medley. Yay.
Little shop of horrors, little shop of terrors, little shop of horrors. Oh, 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 oh no! I put a spell on you, and now you're gone so long. I put a spell on you, and it was strong, so strong, so strong, so strong. Your wretched little lives have all been cursed 'cause of all the witches working. She's the worst. I put a spell on you. 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 And now I remember doing the time war. Oh, I love this. Drinking those moments when the blackness would hit me and the void would be calling. Let's do the time warp again. Let's do the time warp again. Do, 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 do.
Boys and girls of every age, wouldn't you like to see something strange? Come with us and you will see. This our town of Halloween. This is Halloween. This is Halloween.
Pumpkins scream in the dead of night.
This is Halloween. Everybody make a scene.
Trick or treat till the neighbor's gonna die of fright.
Everyone hail to the pumpkin song. Do, 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 do.
Come, little children, I'll take thee away into a land of enchantment. Come, little children, it's time to play in my garden of spell on you, and now you hear the door slam and realize there's nowhere left to run. You feel the cold hand and wonder if you'll ever see the sun. You close your eyes and hope that this is just imagination, girl, but all the while you hear a creeper creeping up behind. You're out of time, 'cause this is Thriller night. And no one's gonna save you from the beast about to strike. You know it's Thriller night. You're fighting for your life inside a killer, thriller, chiller, thriller here tonight. 'Cause this is Thriller. Thriller tonight, yeah.
Yeah!
That was amazing.
Oh, it's so good. I'm so excited. Oh, yes, I did.
Well written, Lady Morgan.
Oh my god, so much fun. Yes, I'm glad that it's worked just as well doing this as it is doing it in person. I've really enjoyed doing it in person, but I wasn't sure how well this was going to work digitally online. That was so good. Thank you, ladies, for your professionalism and your great voices. That was great.
That was so
Thank
much
you
fun.
for writing such a wonderful medley.
Exactly. It was so much fun to do. I loved especially the way that you incorporated all the songs. It was a perfect matchup. It's perfect.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad it worked out. Well, we'll be remiss if we don't thank once again our good sponsors, the Gilded Lily. for putting together hats and wonderful things and all that fun stuff. Yay! And we might hang out for a bit. Yes, thank you so much for joining us on this, the pre to All Hallows Eve, Devil's Night or Mischief Night, depending on how you like to call it, depending on whether or not you're in Detroit. Yeah. Oh, thank you. New favorite Chase Treasure song. Thank you. We have a plan. We have a loose plan. I'll just say this. We have a loose plan of maybe putting this on the next album. We'll see. It's going to be hard.
I was going to ask you exactly that. One of our fans here tonight asked if there was any plans to take the videos and songs that we've put together for these Ladies Unlaced shows and make an album of that.
I mean, I've really, really liked all of these different things and putting them together, but it's not the same as what I love about doing our albums usually is recording them in person. And I love being able to just at least have 3 people in a studio that you could all sing together and get that dynamic with each other. Because it's not even just the vocal dynamics, it's actually the in-person interactive dynamic that you miss out on when you're just doing this in kind of its own thing.
And so many wonderful collaborations come out of being live in the studio together. I mean, just recording the Christmas album with you was absolutely marvelous. I had so much fun. I got to meet treasures that I'd never met before, and we got to collaborate on songs. And everyone really brought their A game.
Yeah, and having a really solid West Coast team really helps that we can send things over and be like, all right, Lucrezia and Liliana and what's her name? Estefania, you 3 can do these 2 songs and you just figure out how you want to arrange them. And I can trust that other people over there will be able to put something together and will be able to put their stuff in a studio. And as long as I give them requirements, it'll work out really well. So we're all hopeful that eventually we'll be able to put this together. But as much as I would love to make collaborations of what we've done so far, it's not the same as actually having a professional recording studio actually sitting there recording your vocals. So that's the hope eventually, is to actually get into a studio once again and start to record things again. Yes, and Robert Lines, we will see you tomorrow for those of you who are going to the final weekend of the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair. We are honored to have been brought back to that festival, and we are honored that they have been so good at making things as safe as possible and really encouraging us to keep our own safety. We've had a lot of wonderful festivals that have offered things to us, but we either can't cross state lines or we just don't feel comfortable doing it. Hopefully next year, as more festivals are adopting the kinds of things that PARF is doing, we'll be able to start to expand our repertoire again. So look for online presences, or possibly on Facebook or Twitter, Instagram, all those kinds of things. We will make announcements as we secure contracts throughout the year. But hopefully next year we'll be able to do some more fun things and reach back out again into the world as safely and as confidently as we can. Yay. I don't know. Do you have any parting words that you'd like to say to our audience today?
Thank you guys so much for joining in. This has been such a wonderful episode of storytelling and horror storytelling, and it's been such a wonderful time. Thank you for joining us.
Well, I know that I'm particularly honored to get to meet and get to know you, Lady Liliana, and especially getting to sing with you. So my goodbye involves saying thank you for letting me work with you.
Yay!
Thank you.
Bringing people together across the country. Yes.
And don't forget to tip us.
Yes, if you like the show, please throw us a tip. We really appreciate it. If you didn't like the show, we are, I don't know. You are people that we're TLC. There you go. I used to do that all the time, and it was always just like a throwaway for like friends of ours. But yeah, I don't know anybody that's friends at the moment. So yeah, there it is. If you liked us, tip us now. If you didn't like us, we're Alex Stompley. Ha! No, I'm kidding. I love Alex Stompley. That's fine.
If you didn't like us, I'm Testa the Jester. No, those are my friends.
But thank you so much for joining us tonight. We had a wonderful, wonderful time. Please enjoy the rest of your spooky season. Yes, we do love you, Alex Stompley. You're one of my favorite people. I don't know. It can't rain all the time. Stay sexy. Don't get murdered. And thank you all from Chase Treasure. I'm Lady Morgan.
I'm Lady Julie Daubigny.
And I'm Lady Liliana.
And together we are Chase Treasure.